Tonight, an exclusive new update on a Wellington man once known as the country's biggest pill mill supplier of oxycodone. You've probably seen Chris George and his twin brother, Jeff George, featured not only on our news over the years, but also on the recent CNN documentary, American Pain.
That documentary focused on the millions of dollars the brothers raked in selling highly addictive oxycodone out of South Florida pain clinics in the mid-2000s. And now that he's out of prison, in a new twist, Chris George is suing his former lawyer, claiming that man took $2 million of his money and took George's house.
Investigative reporter Terry Parker talked to George and has learned a Florida Supreme Court referee has just agreed with his claims.
Felicia and Todd, I was the first local reporter to zero in on the George brothers and their pill mill kingdom, investigating their brazen business, the raids, the court case, and their eventual road to prison. Now, Chris George is fighting a new legal battle over millions of dollars he says a well-known attorney took from him. These are the George brothers of Wellington, Jeff and Chris, back in 2010, at the height of running the largest prescription drug network in the U.S. People coming to Palm Beach County from all over the country to buy easy-to-get Oxycontin pills doled out by doctors in seconds.
They actually basically just give them out.
Federal officials estimating the brothers' 5 clinics brought in more than $40 million in cash between 2008 and 2010.
Yeah, no, we were doing good, yeah.
I was investigating the clinics and confronting the brothers.
When are we going to talk, Jeff?
Well before the FBI and DEA swooped in to raid their clinics, their homes, even their mother's house. In the mom's house, agents found $4.5 million stashed in the attic. And the empire was over.
Well, I went to prison for the pain clinics. You know, I pled guilty to a racketeering conspiracy. I ended up serving 11 years. And I was 29 when I went in and 40 when I got out.
This is Chris George now, back in Wellington, and laser focused on a new pursuit, suing his attorney.
I've been suing him for 8 years now. It's tough suing an attorney.
This is attorney Jeffrey Siskin in an unrelated court case. He ran for Florida Attorney General in 2018. George says he hired Siskin from prison in 2013 to invest his $2 million tax refund and to sell his house. That money in the house were all he had left after the government seized the pain clinic profits. But within months, he realized Siskin was allegedly not investing his money, but spending it.
No, it's something I have to do. I can't let him get away with it.
From behind bars, George filed a civil suit against Siskin and a complaint with the Florida Bar, which after investigating for years, launched its own complaint with the Florida Supreme Court. This month, the referee in the case, a Broward County judge, concluded Siskin did take George's millions and $500,000 from another client. Siskin denies it. He declined an on-camera interview, so I tried to talk to him before one of his court appearances. Excuse me, Mr. Siskin. I'm Terry Parker with Channel 25. We've spoken on the phone. Can you comment, please, Mr. Siskin, on the Florida Bar's complaint against you for allegedly taking $2 million of Chris George's money?
No.
Why can't you comment?
I can't comment.
Well, did you do it?
No.
According to the referee's findings, within days of depositing George's $2 million into his own trust account, Siskin transferred the majority into Sovereign Gaming and Entertainment, an LLC owned by his father, and withdrew money from that account to go on a spending spree, including $12,850 member dues to Mar-a-Lago, $50,000 to a remodeling company, $200,000 to a mortgage, and $1 million to buy an office suite at the Trump Plaza. The referee says within 15 days, George's money was gone.
I'm going to let the plaintiff do that.
The referee accuses Siskin of fraudulent activity and scheming, noting that Siskin's claim that George lent the $2 million to his father without any security was so obviously and transparently false that it would cause even the casual observer to quickly conclude its absurdity.
See, the problem in that case is you don't see both sides of it because there's no docket. If you saw the rest of the pleadings, which there are many of, you would have a better appreciation for what the issues are.
And what are the issues? It seems to me that the Florida Bar says that you took $2 million of your client's money.
I already told you I didn't. So that's not an issue to me.
And he needs to be stopped. He should be in jail, really, but at least not be a lawyer right now.
The judge referee is recommending Siskin be disbarred. I asked Siskin again if he wanted to be interviewed after we learned of the referee's findings. He said he did not, but he would send me some information that refutes the findings, but so far he hasn't. Chris George's civil suit claims Siskin also fraudulently took ownership of his house and sold it. Siskin's own house is in foreclosure, and he has filed for bankruptcy. Chris George remains on probation. His twin brother Jeff is still serving his time in prison. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.